On his second day in Seattle, Ellie heads to the hospital in search of Nora. She stops on the way to upgrade her weapons at a workbench, where she is ambushed by 4 soldiers in Washington Liberation Front apparel. However, during the fight, they shout that they are not going back, and say Isaac Dixon, the leader of the WLF, can go to hell. It turns out that they are deserters, and had mistaken Ellie for a member of the WLF, come to apprehend them. A short distance away, in a pub that faces a conference centre, 2 freshly infected WLF members occupy the building along with the clickers who seemingly infected them. One of them is carrying a note from Isaac that appears to identify him as Woods, charging him with finding and apprehending 4 deserters. Jisoo Hwang, Andre Dominguez, Chris Marsh, and Adam Peters. The same 4 whom Ellie kills in self-defense at the workbench. They have seemingly not only run away from the WLF, but also stolen a cache of weapons. The reason for their desertion becomes clear in a letter addressed to another WLF member called Militia. They are former Fireflies, disillusioned with Isaac's regime and instead seeking their former faction, rumoured to have regrouped in Santa Barbara. The letter to Melissa laments that she had not been able to leave the stadium with them, and ends with a plea. Remember who we were. The WLF took us in, but they're not our people. The identity of Melissa is never confirmed within The Last of Us Part 2. However, within the story we know 8 former Fireflies who were taken in by the WLF, one of whom is called Mel. The recently released script book for The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 includes not only whole sections that were cut from the final game, but also on occasion individual lines of dialogue that ultimately weren't included in the scene. This includes the scene where Abby and Manny arrive at the WLF's forward operating base, shortly after Mel goes into triage with an injury, and a member of the WLF collects Alice. The missing line in the script gives us Mel's full name.
Hey, who we got here?
Hey, come on, girl. This is Alice.
Her handle is Melissa Davis. Register her in, please.
Come on, Alice. Good girl.
That dog is special. Give her the best spot.
Thank you.
Although the line didn't make it into the final game, there is no reason to believe this changes Mel's full name, rather than that it simply didn't fit with the flow of the scene. It also strongly suggests that the letter from the deserters is addressed to Mel from the Salt Lake crew. The points mentioned in the letter also strongly hint at this. The deserters express regret that Mel wasn't able to leave the stadium with them, since they appear to have left the day before, i.e. on Seattle Day 1. This would suggest that Mel's reason for not being able to leave with them is due to the fact that she only barely managed to get herself cleared to go on assignment because she was heavily pregnant. This is a reason why both Abby and Manny also appear concerned with her being called up, though she assures them it is routine. All she has to do is take the truck ride to the FOB, where she will serve as a medic. At least, that is the rationale that she gives her friends, and perhaps also the rationale she used to be cleared for duty. We don't know whether she still intended to desert. However, we do have some clues as to how she felt about being part of the WLF. At the point that she leaves the stadium with Abby and Manny, she is estranged from Owen, the father of her child, and hasn't seen him in 2 weeks. She has also been avoiding Abby after what they did to Joel and Jackson.
Why have you been avoiding me? I wasn't avoiding you. Come on, you've barely said anything to me since Jackson. I don't know, I guess I was shook by Jackson, too. You don't think Joel deserved what he got? I think he deserved worse. I just wish I didn't take part in it. I get it. What kind of a person could do that, right? I'm not saying that.
More generally, she openly expresses a preference for avoiding combat.
Man, that's gotta be a lonely job.
She really likes it. Ask her about the cumulus clouds.
Well, I guess you get to stay away from the combat.
Yeah, if that's what you're
Hey,
into.
Abby.
I'd be happy staying put, I think. Just treating families.
You'd miss fucking up scars.
I don't think so.
And when talking to Manny after escaping from the hardware store, she expresses more explicit regret about the conflict the WLF is mired in with the Seraphites.
God, remember when we could pass through this area without getting jumped by scars? Getting nostalgic about the truce? Easier days, huh?
Too easy. We let our guard down, and they strung up an entire squad.
That was in retaliation to us shooting those kids.
Okay, but those kids attacked our guys. What would you do?
I don't know, not riddle them with bullets?
I'd rather save our people.
Manny, they're kids. It's not their fault. Not our fault either. Those deaths are on them. Okay.
None of this points conclusively to a desire to desert the WLF. But it does speak to a discomfort with her situation and a distaste for the war. Being heavily pregnant and not wanting to bring a child into such conflict is an added motive, and one which also drove Owen to try and convince Abby to turn back from her pursuit of Joel and Jackson. Instead, Abby pushed on and found him, bringing him back to the group and then forcing Mel to stop him from bleeding out so that she could keep him alive to torture. Throughout this scene, the horror of it all is apparent on Mel's face, and it is easy to see why she came to regret being a part of it, as well as to more broadly reevaluate the world and war that she was a part of. Yet other than Owen, whom she hasn't seen for 2 weeks, no other members of the Salt Lake crew appear to harbour any doubts about either killing Joel or about the WLF cause. But they are not the only Fireflies in the WLF. We don't know if other Fireflies from Salt Lake City went to Seattle with the Salt Lake crew, but even if they didn't, we do know that other Fireflies did arrive there at different points. One such group provides Abby with the lead that Joel's brother, Tommy, lived in Jackson, Wyoming. The workbench deserters could be from that group, or they could be from some other intake. But either way, we know that they shared a kinship with Melissa, speaking of our people, that points to a shared past as Fireflies. Not least because they are seeking out the regrouped Fireflies in Santa Barbara. So perhaps Mel saw leaving with these four as her only way out, and, delayed from leaving the stadium with them, was using the transfer to the FOB, and the huge numbers of the WLF at the base, within which one person would be hard to miss, as her opportunity to leave. Whatever her intentions, however, her truck was ambushed by Seraphites, and she was injured in the unplanned journey on foot to the FOB. As a result, she was held up in triage whilst Nora told Abby that Owen's partner Danny was dead, and Owen's fate was unknown, leading to Abby beating Mel to the punch and sneaking away in pursuit of Owen. This, in turn, led to Isaac questioning all of the Salt Lake crew members at the FOB, and according to Nora, being particularly hard on Mel. Whether she was already planning to leave, or whether she had decided against it, Abby's desertion and Isaac's rough questioning forced her hand, and so she took Alice with her, both for protection and because of her clear connection with the animal, and made the journey. We do not know how she travelled or where she went, between the FOB and ultimately reaching the aquarium. But if she did stop by the hideout of her fellow deserters, then she would have found the ruins of their attempt to ambush Ellie. Where else could she go, then, except for the place that Owen had made their home and their sanctuary, away from the WLF? But now that she was by Owen's side, the distance between them was only increasing. The reason for that, and the reason for her guilt and nightmares from their time in Jackson, was a woman that she couldn't leave behind no matter how she tried, and that her partner still retained a spark for. Which is why her only hope to salvage something from the mess was an ultimatum. She would go to Santa Barbara with Owen, but only if Abby wasn't with them. This backfired because Owen still didn't prioritize her or the baby, determined to rekindle something with Abby.
People don't come back from that island.
How many times has Abby risked her life for you?
She chose this. I'm not fucking going there.
Then don't! Go back.
Fuck you, Owen.
Her last words to the father of her child, before the arrival of the woman who, unknown to both of them, was the reason the only hope she had of escape was this man who didn't love her, and now the reason that there would be no escape. Mel only wanted peace, yet each step of her journey is marked in the blood of others. That of her mentor, that of the man who killed him, that of her comrades, and it ends with her own. Had she been more easily cleared for duty to leave with the deserters? Or had she not been wounded and prevented from leaving the FOB after them? Or had Ellie simply not wandered into the deserters' hideout? Who knows how differently it all might have turned out. If you enjoy my content about The Last of Us, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more. I stream my challenge run attempts every week, with new videos out when I complete them, as well as videos like this on the series storytelling, exploring the lore, the factions, and more, such as the one that's just popped up, which YouTube thinks you should watch next. This channel is supported by my YouTube and Patreon members, whose names are rolling up on screen now. You too can get early access to all of my videos, including on my other channel, if you join on Patreon for as little as $1.99 a month. Thanks, and see you next time.
I'm done with you.